Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where today I'm bringing you this blue smoky eye Desi makeup look. So this smoky eye might look super glam, but that doesn't mean that it's complicated. In fact, I'm going to break it down for you guys in some really simple and easy steps to show you how I created this look. So guys, to get started, I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer on my eyelids first. Now, as you can see, I don't have my base on at the moment, and that's because if I'm doing like a glam kind of eye makeup look, I like doing my base afterwards because I can then clean up any of the fallout or the mess from the eye makeup. So to start off with, I need to basically get rid of any of the kind of discoloration on top of my eyelids just to create like a blank canvas for the eyeshadow to go onto. So I'm just going to go in with the Maybelline Eraser Concealer just on top of my eyelids, and this is just a really light layer, guys. You don't need to be too thick with it or, you know, apply anything too heavy, and just going in with your finger to kind of like blend that in. And all this does is it just corrects the pigmentation on top of the eyelids, and that way colour of the eyeshadow is going to come out much better. This is basically the same concealer I use underneath my eyes as well, so it makes your life so much easier. Just use the exact same concealer you're going to use underneath your eyes on the top. Okay, once that's done, we're ready for our primer. Now, primer is so important when it comes to all eye makeup looks. So if you're not using a primer, then you definitely need to be using one, because without it, your eyeshadow is just not going to blend as well. It's not going to come out with the true pigment of the colour or look as amazing as it can. So the primer I'm going in with today is one of my favourites that I use in a lot of my videos, if you've seen them before, is the MAC Paint Pot. So this is in the shade Soft Ochre. It's got a bit of a yellowy tone to it, which again, I really like because it helps to brighten up my eyelid area. With this primer, again, you want to take it in a really light layer. It's quite a kind of thick product, so a little bit goes a long way. And the main thing with this is you want to pat, not rub. As soon as you start rubbing a product like this or any kind of eyeshadow primer, it will start to just kind of go quite patchy. So always pat that on, and making sure you're covering all the way from the eyelid all the way up to the brow bone as well. Even though MAC calls this product like their paint pot, they are great as eyeshadow primers. And if you speak to anyone who knows about MAC products, you will know that a paint pot is like an eyeshadow primer, but like even better, because it just keeps hold of the eye makeup for ages. Like, I've used this before for like really long days, like 12-hour days, and my eye makeup has just lasted. So I really do like this product. So as you can see, the concealer helped to colour correct any pigmentation on the eyelid, and the primer then on top just helps to create that blank canvas and a nice base before the eyeshadow goes on. So when I do eyeshadow looks like this, I like to really intensify that colour, and sometimes that doesn't just come from using one single eyeshadow, it comes from layering your products. So to make this blue really nice and intense and really smoky, I'm going to start off by using a pencil as my first layer. Now, this isn't just any pencil, this is the MAC Fluidline eye pencil. What that means, it's basically one of those like crayon soft type of pencil textures, and this is in the shade Deep Blue Sea, but you could basically use any kind of soft blue eye pencil. As long as it's in like a blue colour, this will work great as a base. And what we want to do to keep things nice and easy is literally fill in our whole eyelid with this pencil. And what I love about this technique is you don't have to be perfect with it. Like, it's literally going to look like I'm pretty much scribbling all over my eyelid like that. But what this will do is, because the pencil is more of like a crayon texture, or like basically like a smudgy texture, right, is what you're looking for, this is going to smudge really nicely and blend into the eyes, and then when our eyeshadow goes on top, it's going to come out much more intense. And like I said, you don't need to be neat with it at all, but this is why I like using this pencil, because the Fluidline pencil from MAC is quite soft. And then what I'm going to do is take my finger, once I've coloured in my whole eyelid, I'm going to take my finger and I'm pretty much just going to soften this up and just go over the eyelid. It's going to look really messy when you first do this, guys, but I promise you, like, the end result is going to be great. And this is basically just smoothing it out so that it doesn't end up looking like scribbles on your whole eyelid. You can start off that way and really make sure at this stage that there's no gaps. So if you can see any gaps, go back in with your pencil into those areas, and then you can just smooth over again with your finger. because at this stage we want a smooth kind of blue base before our eyeshadow goes on. And guys, if you notice, I'm only going up to the crease area, so I'm not taking this any higher. The crease is where that kind of line sits in our eyes. You want to go up to just up to that crease, filling in just your eyelid section, because then we're going to blend the crease color in later. So as you can see, that starts off our blue eyeshadow really well, and also you end up with a blue finger. So make sure you wipe that off before you touch anything else, because otherwise you'll end up with like blue on your face, on your clothes. So yeah guys, make sure you wipe off that blue finger. So now that we've got our pencil on as a base, the eyeshadow is going to go on way more intense, and it's just going to come out so much better than just applying it to like bare eyes, because it's actually got something to stick onto, and it's just going to help to intensify that colour. And as you can see, this is like a little palette that I sort of made up, and you can do that with a lot of the MAC eyeshadows, which I think is really great. You can basically just create your own little palette. So one of the colours that I'm using today, this one is in the shade Deep Truth, and I'm literally just going to use my flat eyeshadow brush and layer that blue eyeshadow on top of exactly where I've done my pencil. We're going to blend this out in a second guys, so don't worry if you just literally look like a 3-year-old just, you know, popped on some blue eyeshadow onto the eyes. So when you're applying this shadow, you'll feel the difference when it sticks to the kind of base that you've created, and using a flat brush is going to really help you to get that pigment from the eyeshadow. And when I use my flat brush guys, I really kind of press this eyeshadow colour on. So I don't do this, which kind of doesn't really apply the eyeshadow as well. You kind of want to press that on. So just build this up layer by layer, depending on how intense you want this to look and how glam you want to go. And this is what eye makeup is all about, guys. It's all about layering your products. If you tried to take kind of one kind of whole load of eyeshadow and try and stick that on your eyes, it's all just going to fall onto the rest of the skin, and it's not going to really apply in the best way. So layering is pretty much your best friend, and taking a little bit at a time to really build that up. So that's pretty much done, and next up we're going to now blend this out, and you guys are probably thinking, oh, finally, because right now it's looking a little bit crazy. So now it's time for our blending, and I'm going to use my fluffy eyeshadow blending brush. Whilst we blend that out, we're also going to apply a crease colour. So I'm going to go for quite a soft crease colour because I want the blue to kind of do, you know, more of the talking. So I'm going to dip my fluffy brush into the crease colour, and as we kind of apply this crease colour, we're going to blend out the blue eyeshadow at the same time. So you're going to push the brush into the crease and just take that back and forth. So what's going to happen is the crease colour is going to blend into the blue automatically, and you're going to be left with a nice soft blend between the two shades. So if you feel like your blue is not blending, just apply a little bit more pressure and you will find that you get like a bit of a softer blend. So it starts to create a really nice soft blend, and don't worry, even at this stage if it looks messy, the cleanup is coming guys, I promise. But just be patient, it's a process. So once you've blended that out, at this stage, if you feel like you want to intensify that blue a little bit more, you can add in another layer. What I like to do is I like to kind of wing out the blue eyeshadow. So what I mean by this is I'm going to add another layer just to intensify that blue on my eyelid. But I'm also going to take this and extend the blue into the outside corners. So when you do this, it might create a little bit of a triangle in the outside corner, and that's okay because like I said, we're going to do the cleanup in a second, but just like a small little triangle, just going towards the angle of the corner of the eye to the end of the brow. But I like to keep it just a little bit of the way out, not too far, because obviously by the time you blend it, you don't want it kind of reaching all the way out to there. You want to kind of keep it in this area here. Just make sure when you're extending out the other side that you're doing it evenly, so it's kind of like reaching the same kind of length on both sides. Okay, and then we're going to take our blending brush once again, and we're now just going to go over that little triangle area just to kind of blend that out. And at this point guys, it is going to look a bit like a mess, but like I said, do not worry. It's coming guys, the process is happening. So now comes the cleanup, and this is the best part of why I like teaching my eyeshadow techniques, because up until now you don't really have to be that perfect. The main thing about this look is just getting that blue on, so making it nice and intense and really layering it on, and now we're going to go in and kind of perfect that. So firstly, I'm taking a clean blending brush, and what I'm going to do with this is go over any harsh lines or edges. So obviously the crease brush that I use, so the other kind of fluffy blending brush that I used before to do my crease colour and blend the blue out is not going to be clean, right? So if I use this to now clean up everything, it's just going to cause the blue to spread even more. So we need a clean one to make sure we're softening those edges, but we're not smudging out the blue like further than we want it to go. The first place I like to kind of soften up is pretty much the inside, because I find that always in that inner corner or towards the inside of the nose area sometimes it's a bit too strong, so I like to just go over that, and then I like to go over just the edges on the top. So guys, what you're not doing is going over the whole eyeshadow, because you don't want to take off like what you've done and, you know, kind of go over all that hard work. You're just using the tip of that fluffy brush to kind of just go over any harsh lines and edges. Once you've done that, it's time to make this eyeshadow look really nice and sharp and just really perfected. So you're going to take a cotton pad and some eye makeup remover or any kind of makeup remover. You're just going to take a little bit onto the pad. So don't soak the whole thing, but just like a tiny little area. So I just put my finger underneath the cotton pad like so, and I kind of use the edge of my nail to do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe in one straight line from the corner of my eye to the end of the brow. So literally just taking this and almost slicing that eyeshadow in one clean kind of cut. And as you can see, compared to the other side, this just gives like the cleanest kind of finish to your eyeshadow and really kind of gives you that sort of winged out effect without having to use winged eyeliner. And I know a lot of makeup artists do this by using like tape and then peeling the tape away, but the only thing I find with that is sometimes like you don't quite get the angle right of the tape, and when you take that off it's like kind of messed up all your hard work. And the other thing is tape sometimes really sticks to my face and then like it really hurts when I pull it off. So I just prefer like using a cotton pad with some makeup remover and just kind of wiping that in kind of one straight line, and then you can kind of use this to like sort of wipe off any fallout as well underneath the eyes. If you feel like your eyeshadow's kind of fallen all over your face because you haven't done your base yet, you can use this just to go underneath as well. Okay, so once that's nice and cleaned up and looking nice and sharp, we're going to add some shimmer to this to make this look nice and glam. And I'm going to use another one of my little self-made palettes. So MAC does these really nice sort of eyeshadows called Dazzleshadows, which are almost like they're sort of pressed kind of, I would say glitters, but they're like really fine, so it's not like chunky glitter, it's like a nice sort of sparkle. And I've kind of, what I've done is decant all the kind of little eyeshadows because they come separately, and I've popped them into the palette. It did take a little bit of time, and I might do a video on how I did it at some point, but it just means that it's all together in one nice little area. So the one that I'm using, and I've labelled them too because I'm a bit extra like that, but I'm going to use this one called Get Physical, and I literally just use my finger for this. It's the best way to sort of apply any kind of like pressed pigment or pressed eyeshadow. I'm just going to place that mainly in the centre of the eyelid, so I kind of start in the centre and then I can take it across kind of the whole eyelid area too. And you almost want to like press this on to the eyelid. So next up I'm going to add some eyeliner. Now what I love about a look like this is that, you know, the eyeshadow is kind of already giving you that winged out shape. So if you're someone who really struggles with winged eyeliner, then this will be like really nice and easy for you because you don't actually have to do the winged eyeliner because the eyeshadows sort of already create that shape for you. So what I like to do instead, just to add a little bit of definition to the top, is go in with a black pencil, and I'm just gonna run this just above my lashes. And I find pencil eyeliner so much easier to apply, and you can take it to the end of the eyelid and stop right there. And then what I'm going to do is smudge out that black pencil just a little bit, just to create a bit more of a softer definition. I'm going to use this kind of little smudgy sort of brush, just using the edge of that brush. It's going to go over that black. Even better, guys, if you're someone who's got really unsteady hand and this didn't go, you know, quite as straight for you, then it doesn't matter because you're just going to smudge it out anyway. So it's a really kind of soft definition, but what that does is it gives you that kind of effect on the smoky eye where it's kind of going from like dark to kind of going upwards and fading into that blue, which I think looks really, really nice. And when you stick on your lashes, it'll help to kind of blend in that lash band with your natural lashes as well. But the other great thing about the shape that we've created, guys, with the eyeshadow is if you wanted to add in a winged eyeliner with your liquid or gel, then you basically have a guide to follow. So you don't actually need to worry about how to create that wing or get in that straight line. Literally just follow that line and join it back on to the rest of your eyeliner and you've got your wing. So guys, after the eyeliner, I've added my lashes and I've also got my base on. And as you can see, once you start to sort of complete the look, it starts looking so much better. So I promise you, like I said guys, it is a process. And you know, by the end result, it's going to look amazing. So now I'm just going to finish off the eyes, and I'm going to do that by adding the same pencil that I used on the top in my waterline as well. And this is just to add that kind of real intensity to the eye makeup, and putting, you know, kind of black, or even if you wanted to use brown in the waterline, will create that nice kind of intense smokiness. And then I'm going to use the same smudger brush, and this time not only am I going to smudge underneath, but I'm going to do it using the same blue eyeshadow that I've used. I'm literally just using the edge of that brush to wiggle this back and forth and create that kind of nice smudgy blueness underneath as well. Smudgy blueness. I like the sound of that. And as you can see, that just helps to create that really nice, intense, dramatic smokiness. So last but not least, guys, I'm going to add some glow into my eye makeup. So I'm going to highlight certain areas. I'm going to use the same highlighter that I've used on my cheeks, which is the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. And I'm just going to use a little brush just to kind of pop this into the inner corners. And it really helps just to add that lovely glow on the inner corners of the eyes, and it's really, really subtle, but what it does is it helps to make your eyes look bigger and brighter. And I feel like for a really nice kind of, you know, glam evening look, this just finishes it off so well. And I'm going to pop the same highlight just underneath the eyebrow bone too, to kind of give it that sort of natural brow lift, is what I call it. So guys, I've just finished off my look with some accessories and a lovely pinky nude lip. And these are the 3 lip products that I've used today. So I've used the Soar lip pencil and the Modesty lipstick, both from MAC. And this lipstick in particular is one of my favourite, like absolute favourite nude lipstick shades for Asian skin tone. And I've topped that up with my Tom Ford lip gloss in Rose Crush. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. And if you fancy learning some more makeup tips and tricks with me, then don't forget I am running my online makeup lesson and masterclasses at the moment. This will give you the opportunity to virtually learn and practice your makeup live with me. So just head to the link in the information below if you want to find out more, and you can book your place online now. Don't forget to drop me a follow on Instagram to see more of what I get up to, and I'm also now on TikTok, so go ahead and check me out on there. All my contact information is below. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos, and as always guys, stay beautiful, stay you. So I'm just going to go in with the Maybelline. There's one of my MAC ones. But we're not making the blue. Is the Soar lip pencil. Don't forget to follow me.